Hello class, hello professor. So this week we're doing a video guide, a video instructional demonstration on a movement. The movement I chose is standing bicep curl, seated standing, but basically a bicep curl in short. Last week in the discussion board I talked about how usually men will grab the weight too heavy, too much out of their, well I don't say too much, just out of their range basically. They're just trying to show off, ego and things of that nature. So they'll grab the biggest dumbbell that they can, and they swing their arms, their back, their legs, their forearms, their shoulders, their back is involved in a bicep curl. So that is the exercise I'm going to choose. We'll get into the other part of it in a second, but as far as movement, it's really, really simple. It's just going to be simply, your forearm's going to move, your hand closer to your shoulder. That is the movement in itself. So this here, that is a bicep curl. It's that simple. There are so many ways people mess this up and so many mistakes that happen doing this. You'll see people swing it around like that, people swing it around like this. You'll see the body rocking, you'll see the jerking motion, you'll see that in common. You'll see the thing where guys are just pretty much doing this motion and things of that nature where they aren't even doing the full range. So many mistakes. Coaching cue. A cue for yourself is to simply remember, you're taking your forearm and bringing it up. That's the simplicity, that's the simple form, and that's a simple way to do it. Try to keep your wrist straight. Don't swing the wrist. I mean, it's more advanced techniques and stuff like that that you can worry about as far as concentration and squeeze and stuff like that. But in short, bring your forearm up to your bicep. Avoid any other movements, anything else. Now, cues. If you see yourself starting to rock, to sway, you notice your legs are providing a lot of the momentum and stuff like that. Those are cues to remember. The short of it is forearm to the bicep, to the shoulder. Now, regression. This is the other part that I was going to get to where I talked about in the discussion board, the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys on the wall, more or less, a wall isolated bicep curl. I'll give you an example of how people do them incorrectly. I'll give you an example of how you can use the wall to isolate your biceps if you can't, use those coaching cues to keep your bicep curl very, very strict. So I'm gonna pause it real quick and start it again and show you an example of a wall isolated bicep curl. Okay, so here we go. We have a wall here. Simplest thing you could ever do as far as focusing on your bicep curl. So I'll show you the example that people make. The problem, let's take a step back. And you'll see a lot of guys that'll grab this heavyweight. This is just 17 and a half. I mean, I can lift heavier, but for demonstration purposes, you want to make sure that the weight is comfortable. So you'll see guys hit this motion, all these swinging. I just finished the arm workout, and I can tell right here, just doing this motion here, I'm using so many other muscle groups, so many other, ways between the momentum. I'm not even squeezing, I'm not even concentrating. It looks good. People see that in the corner, see that guy curling 65, 70, 80s, all that stuff like that. But in actuality, is he really, developing his muscles? So, a wall bicep curl, very, very simple. Put your back on the wall, put your arm on the wall. You want to be strict because once you put this here, let me slide down so you can see. Once you put this here, nothing else is going to assist you. This is literally going to be all bicep. You can't recruit any extra leg help, back help. The forearm may help if you use the wrist, but again, we're trying to avoid the wrist movement. This is going to be your straight biceps. So you take the weight straight down. A bodybuilder once told me your arm is a simulation of your leg. So you see that motion, kind of like how your calf and your thigh, that's more or less the same motion. It should come up like a leg curl. It's like the same thing as a bicep curl. It should be strict and straight up. So here we go. Put my arm on the wall, straight as possible, and curl. Bring it back down. And you curl. That is a bicep curl. Nothing else is assisting, nothing else is helping, nothing else can help at this point. I mean, me leaning over like this, obviously these are really, really wide for only 17, but you get the gist of it. The wall is isolating your bicep curl. Nothing else can help you at this point. This is probably the best way to do your bicep curls if you can't focus, you can't not do the swinging motion. Now, as far as regression and progression, regression is that right there, using the wall. Using the wall to help you. It's a great way to get you to the point so that you can lift heavier weights and do other things like that. As far as another regression, decrease the weight. That's the simplest, most easiest ego way to have a regression, because again, you drop the weight, you focus on your form, you'll get way stronger, you'll see way more results. Now, as far as progression, this one's very, very easy. Add weight, add more weight as you go, your progression gets stronger, you'll do more repetitions, do them faster, do them slower, things of that nature. Also, another thing you can do to progress is to do supersets. So take this exercise and isolate a bicep curl after you've done some preacher curls, after you've done a little bit of back work where your biceps were involved too, do things of that nature, and you will notice that you'll progress, because your biceps are already be worn. It's a set after an immediate set, a superset. In short, the standing bicep curl / wall isolated bicep curl is the best example of a movement that people tend to have a problem with. Everybody have a good day, good night, stay safe, and see y'all next week.